Hi there, my name's Darrell, it's great to see you and welcome to Old Man Cycling. I've had my Orbea D30 1X e-bike now for about a month and a half. I've been out on it quite a few times. Now, probably not as many times as I would have liked, because as I've said before, I'm a little bit of a fair weather cyclist, but I've managed to get out on it quite a few times and I've got quite a good feel now for this bike. So what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to go out for a ride and I'm going to give you some of my impressions after a month and a half. I've got a ride planned in today of about 26 miles. Now it is getting a little bit later in the afternoon, it's about 2 o'clock. And so we've only probably got about 2.5 hours of good light. So I'm going to have to get a move on. I do tend to find when I'm riding and filming at the same time, it does tend to take about an hour longer than normal because I end up stopping to film bits and just adding extra little things. And so it does take a lot longer. So I'm going to have to get a bit of a move on. So because of that, I've got the bike motor on its lowest setting, just to give me a bit of extra assistance to keep me up to a speed of roughly about 15 miles an hour the whole way round. So the reason that I got an e-bike is because as I've started to get older, my knees have started to let me down a bit. Now cycling does improve how my knees perform. The more I do, the stronger they get and the less problem I tend to have with them. But generally speaking, in the first 5 or 6 miles of a ride, it's quite common for me to get quite a bit of pain in my knees. So I thought having motor assistance available would give me confidence to do longer rides, because I was really fearful that I'd get 15-20 miles away from home and all of a sudden my knees had collapsed and I wouldn't be able to get back. It turns out that so far since riding this Orbea, my knees have been fine. I did a ride the other week that I filmed where I didn't use any motor assistance at all, and it included some track riding and some climbs, and everything was good. But it's good to have that peace of mind that the motor assistance is there should you need it. One thing that I really do like about the Orbea is when we're doing descents like this, the disc brakes give you so much more confidence. The road today is a little bit damp, so I'm not going up full speed, but I know when I touch the brakes, they're going to work perfectly. And now I didn't used to get that confidence the same with rim brakes. I never had a problem with the rim brakes, but you do just get that extra bit of confidence when you've got disc brakes. So that's one feature that I really do like compared to my old bike. We are about to come to a climb. It's not massively severe, but it's quite a bit of a drag, and I know it used to tax me a bit on my old road bike. So what I've done is I've stuck the motor into its highest level of assist, and I've dropped down quite a few gears, and this should be a breeze. I would imagine that I could even get up here and carry on talking without losing too much breath. Well, this is with the lowest gear and the full motor assist. But it's pretty straightforward. Didn't really tax me much at all. So following my previous video where I did an unassisted ride, I did get a comment which was pretty fair from somebody that said, what's the point of having an e-bike if you don't use a motor? And I do agree with that, but I made that video purposely just to show that you can ride this bike without using the motor. And for a novice like me, it's not really noticeable. Yeah, I did get a comment as well that somebody who's got an e-bike and a normal road bike can tell the difference when they're going up a climb, which is again fair enough, but I still managed to get up the climbs with no motor on this bike. It's 15 kilograms in total, the weight of this bike, which is probably about double your standard lightweight road bike, but it really isn't that noticeable, at least not to me. One of the real benefits I found with this bike is its ability to go off-road, because it's a gravel bike. It's got gravel tyres, different gear ratios. When you get off-road onto tracks, it's great. I've never done it before, certainly not since I've had a road bike, and it's really good fun. It adds an extra dimension to your cycling, and it allows you to go places you wouldn't normally be able to go. So just over my shoulder here is a local landmark. It's the Lovell Telescope at Darrell Bank Observatory. Now Cheshire is really flat, so it makes it great for an astro telescope. It's actually a radio telescope rather than an optical one, but it's still great because it gets very good views all around, and being flat also makes it great for cycling. So as I said earlier, I am keeping the motor on during this ride. It's in its lowest setting, so it's only giving me minimal assistance, but I can definitely tell it's there. It's helping to keep my average speed up around 15 miles an hour, because the way it works is it's only active under 15 miles an hour because it's limited to that speed. So once it gets you to that speed, it cuts out, but it still gets you on top of the gears, and it's really good. And so far I'm about 8.5 miles into the ride, and I've used less than 10% of the battery power. So keeping up on top of the speed really helps conserve the battery power as well. One thing that really does impress me about the Orbea is the build quality. It feels so solid, so smooth, and even with gravel tyres on instead of slick road tyres, the whole ride is still really smooth. All the components are great. They feel really solid as well. It's got a GRX gear set, so there's only one front cog, so that cuts out the need for a front mech, and it makes changing gears a lot more simpler. Now, one of the only slight downsides I have found is if you are going a little bit faster, perhaps doing a descent, I do miss a few slightly higher gears, and you do find yourself coasting at the really high speeds. But generally speaking, for the most part, I don't have any problem. The highest gear is still high enough to keep me going at a really good speed, at least 20 miles an hour. One of the things I really like about the bike is just how good it looks. It is barely indistinguishable from a normal bike. The only thing that gives it away as being an e-bike is the slightly thicker down tube where the battery is, and then the hub on the back wheel where the motor is. But it still looks a really stylish bike. I like the colour. I've even got the matching jersey. It's got integrated lights front and back, and it is such a pleasure to ride. So I think that's pretty much one of the main factors that I like about this bike, is just how much I enjoy riding it. It's given me back the confidence to go out on longer rides and not worry about whether my knees are going to hurt. Well, if you are thinking about getting an e-bike, I hope you found this video informative. I definitely don't regret getting the Orbea. It's been a real new lease of life for my cycling. Let me know if you're new to e-biking or if you've got an e-bike yourself. I love hearing all of your comments. If you have enjoyed this video, do let me know down below in the comments, or nip over to my Facebook account and leave me your comments there. I'd love to hear your comments, and if you've got any questions or suggestions for future videos, leave those as well. Now you can do me a really big favour by clicking like, subscribe and the bell notifications, because that really helps me out and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next time's video, that's coming up soon. It's been great to OMC you, and all that's left now is to say stay safe, and I'll see you soon. That'll be coming soon. Not photobombers. Less than 10%. Whoa! Because as I said before, because as I hello.
You're running commentary.
Yeah. Almost indistinguishable. Oh feck.